Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Yeah, so, oh my God, I'm just coming back from elementary school. It's like a visiting day for our daughter and like a parent meeting. And it's really weird that our daughter is starting school next, like after summer. It's super, super weird. Um, what was I going to say? Yeah, just how much better things are now. Like just looking at the presentation, it's so like in the parent meeting, it's so interesting because they present the school as you would present a company. Because they talk about like their values, their models, like how do they think about growth, but it's more like how the kids grow and adjust and feel safe. And I would love to be like a student at that school. And I was just thinking, this is how we should really present our companies in interviews as well. And to some extent we do. But we don't present, like we often present companies as what is the company doing. It's not like what kind of environment is the company providing for you to grow as an employee in that company. And I love that perspective. Anyways, yeah, it just made me think. Has many things to do. I wanted to show, I actually worked a little bit on Timsy. I haven't gotten a chance to like use it much lately, but after we're done with this edit PR, I'm going to do some refactors on the project editor of CodeSandbox Projects, so that we can like, we have this new hooks pattern that we need to get settled, not settled, but get in there. So we have some refactoring steps to have the least amount of regression, hopefully no regression. And that allows us to also explore like using Timsy for certain things where it makes sense. Anyways, I just wanted to show what I did. So first of all, with Timsy, you don't actually have to use the machine. You can actually just create the states, as you can see here, and you can use a normal use state. And then you just do your thing, which is valuable, because you have the states are explicit, and when you consume them, you can like match on them and everything, but you don't have to use the machine. So that's like adding another step. It's like we have the same state here, and now we choose to actually create a machine where we have the states and we express the events it handles. And then instead of use state, we have use machine. That's a data machine that starts in not loaded state. And then we have the state, we have the events, and then we have this use transition effect, which does the fetching of the data, not when the user clicks, but rather as an effect of moving into the loading state. So you're making things more predictable. But what I was reflecting on is promises. So, and it actually occurred to me how nice this signature is. Because if we look at the promise machine, this is shipping with Timsy, is that you can, and it is like it is a state machine. It's using Timsy under the hood, so it's a small abstraction over it. So it says use promise, and you can do whatever you want there. And in this case, it doesn't like expose the events. It just exposes this function. So if you were to have arguments here, those arguments will be typed on this function. But this function doesn't actually return the promise. It returns void, but it triggers this function, basically. And it's really cool how it's implemented. It's actually, I can actually show it to you. But anyways, so you can use that promise and you can just consume it. So in this case, we click load data and you load it and you consume the state for it. But you can also use a transition effect. So there are two kinds of ways to consume data in React. It's like, okay, I just want to consume the data and render something. But you might also want to consume the resolved data to pass it into something. Maybe into a reducer where you do some other stuff. Maybe you want to trigger some animation effect, whatever. Like you want to react to it as well, which is what I love about this signature. It's like the state, trigger, and then transition effect. So I guess there's like other smaller abstractions that would also be helpful here. But anyways, the way it's implemented is really cool. Let's see, React. So this is actually the whole, this is kind of the gist of the thing. So what we do is that we get the callback, and then you can pass like the second array for dependencies whenever that promise like reevaluates, or the function for the promise reevaluates. No matter, you use the machine to create a promise machine that starts in idle, and then you get state events and use subscribe back. Yeah, I'm kind of going between use subscribe and use transition effect. I think publicly I'll call it use transition effect. Anyways, so what we actually expose here is the state, but only a single event, and this event is called execute. And then we also just expose the ability to subscribe. And the way this works is that when the machine moves into pending state, so execute, well, maybe we can look at the machine. So the machine has idle, pending, resolved, and rejected. And when it's idle and you call execute with some params, we go to pending state with those params. So what happens here is that whenever we move into pending state, we have the params. We pass those params into the callback you passed in. We resolve the promise with resolve and reject events, which moves it into resolved or rejected, where you can execute it again if you want to do that. And it's just, yeah, it's just so straightforward. I love it. Anyways, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you what I've been working on. Let's see, edit PR. Yeah, does it state? Oh my god. Yeah, I'm curious, like I'm having such a hard time finding the branches I'm working on. I brought it up with the team that this draft list, it just doesn't represent, like my last branch should always be at the top. But currently it's quite what's it called? Confusing. And I thought it should show me that I made commits. Maybe if I go to GitHub and open the... Yeah, it's like I now I have so many branches that I can't like really go through them either. Maybe I can... Does this one? Yeah. Dazzling updated 22 hours ago. Yeah, this is the one. Yes, I kind of have to go here to figure it out, which is not good. Dazzling 11. Where are you? There we go. And hopefully this contains... Yeah, so I actually fixed a bunch of stuff. Let's open it in VS Code. Let's open it here. Yeah, so what I've done is oh, this this looks like a bug. Why does it have so many? Yeah, that's interesting. We should fix that first. What I fixed is that you can actually move. What the hell? Oh, sorry. Toggle mode. Now you can actually move. You see there's a highlight now on the tab. So if I wanted to move this add reset branch to rather be part of move changes, I can actually... Oh, what the hell did I do? Oh. Toggle mode. Oh, that's interesting. I can actually... What the hell? Why isn't that working? Why isn't space working? I think I did something yesterday though. Like the last thing I did was... Oh. Oh yeah, this is wrong. I can't have that in there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I have no idea why I added that. But what I can do now, I can actually select the whole thing. And when I move right, I actually move the thing, all of it. Cool? So you can choose to like, and now I moved everything over here, but now I can move just this thing back. And now you see, oh, why am I still seeing the hunk there? Oh, sorry, it's selected. Yeah, it's really cool that you can actually move complete changes now. But let's figure this one out. This one looks super weird. So, but maybe it's correct. Like there were actually 4 different commits that modified this file. Yeah, so there was an addition and a modification. Yeah, it represents the different commits and their change. So maybe we should just filter that thing. Let's do that. Is this the review mode commits? So what we can do is, how do we ensure we don't have duplicates? Yeah, and I'm thinking that P is a little bit weird as well. Well, but that doesn't matter now. Okay, so now we're filtering out all the changes that affect this commit. Index, where's that index coming from? Yeah, so we're going through all the files, we're figuring out what changes matches that index. Yeah, and the thing is I really only want to indicate, so in this case it's okay that it's added and modified, but here like saying that is modified, yeah, maybe it doesn't matter. I'm just checking why is it so, oh, it's the margin, but yeah. No, I'll leave it as is, and at least now this is like, it's not a big deal. What's a bigger deal is, yeah, what I also fixed now is if I go here and I click, I can click it once more, but if I double click, it shows the thing, and it actually shows the correct color. And then, yeah, I think a challenge was when I'm in review mode and I'm on reset branch here, and suddenly I go to a commit that has like index, then it doesn't change to index. I think that's what I was working on. It should do that, because that's confusing, but it's tricky. because it's used by, I'm using the same function for both of them. So this change in commit here is actually the same as when I move here. Which is a bit weird. Because when I click this one, I don't want to select the first file. So the question is, do I create another function or do I just optionally give it a file? I think I'll optionally give it a file because I already have that file very directly available to me where I'm calling that function. Oh, I really have to clean this up. So this would be set current SHA index and file path. That's like, maybe it's there. Oh, that shouldn't be string. Oh, that should just be like this. So what we'll do is that current file path or current file path. And now wherever we are consuming this, we're actually saying that file path is an optional string here. And we are using this. Oh, what the hell? Set current SHA index. Oh yeah. Let's just do this all the way through. Because I believe we have yeah, let's go and grab the actual matching file paths. Let's make that matching file path up there, and then I can actually use that here. Yeah, matching file paths. But now I changed the name of this thing. Oh my god, all the way down there. Oh, I'll close the window. It's kind of funny, our youngest, Oscar, he was homesick and he saw there's like a tractor outside. There's a big lawn outside, like a common area. And there's a tractor, big ass tractor cuts the lawn. And he was inside eating and he saw that tractor and he's been in his way talking about that tractor all week. Which is basically just pointing extremely enthusiastically out the window and like giving the what's it called, syllables, is that the term in English? Like it's tractor, like, but it just makes noises. Anyways, that's funny to me. So here we are, and now I change the index and it shows index. Nice, cool. That's good. We fixed that. And on our list is fix bug with showing removed. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're actually going to commit this. By the way, does the... Yeah, we have to check one thing. Can I do space? No, because I can't do... That's the thing I wanted to... We need to fix one more thing. We're doing prevent default on hitting space. And the problem is that we don't really know it's actually super tricky because when I'm here and I'm Yeah, maybe. Oh, I know what we can do. We are actually going to use a little trick of stop propagation. So this is key down listener. So when we're actually editing, where the hell are we? Edit mode? No, edit commit state. So we're actually, when we move into use effect, and if state equal editing, we're going to add the problem though is we actually need, okay, let's just use a ref. Oh, sorry, input ref. No, wait. Yeah, I know what we can do. Oh, this is nice. What we can rather do is on input, we can actually do on key down. Yes, we can just, this is nice. We just do stop propagation. So, so basically we're just containing all key down in this DOM element. So when it actually hits the, like it can't hit the document where we actually do the prevent default behavior. So this should actually work. Like keyboard shortcuts is difficult. Yeah, so now you see that working, and we can still, yeah. I think that's good enough. Space. Okay, so let's what's it called? What do we fix? Fix select and space interaction. And we're going to merge this into main. And then we're going to look at the really tricky thing. Let's see. We're going to close this one. By the way, talk to Evis about, so when I'm here now and I'm basically forking from main again, we can actually tell VS Code that we're doing that operation. So that VS Code can like pop up and ask, you just forked. Do you want to move to that fork? Which is pretty cool. But currently we can't do that, so I have to do it manually. Let's see, yes, trust the authors. And what we're going to do is, how are we going to do this? Okay, let's run the demo because it happened in the demo. Node reset branch. Why didn't? Oh, sorry, not reset branch, but reset demo. There we go. Yeah, I added a reset branch script as well so that we can actually reset the branch to its initial state. But yeah, so here we wanted to tell this story of, okay, I use an utility increment and decrement, then I fixed a comment, then I decided to use a library instead, and then I forgot to remove the console log. So the story we actually want to tell here is that this commit should actually be added package and we are not going to this is where I wonder, well, let's just go through it. So here I move this over there, so we don't actually add the utility in this first one, because that's actually going to be the package, and we're not going to do when I hover. Oh, that's confusing. So let's move that over here as well. The only thing we actually want here is this thing. Oh, I have to, when I hover, that's, yeah, it overrides the hover. That's annoying. Yeah, so now when we go back to the story, that first one is added package. Now we can definitely discuss how that user experience was like, because I renamed an existing commit, which might not be ideal. Maybe it's important to be able, like, it's very little work to be able to add commits, because I thought about that as being like in between these tabs, you would have like a button you could click, and it would actually add a commit there. Because then what we could rather do is, if I refresh, I could kind of use utility to increment and decrement. Sorry, here we go. So looking at the utils file, what I really want to do is, I really just want to amend it. So that's the story I kind of want to tell. Is like, okay, we see here that I decided to use a library and I fixed the comments. I actually wanted to move those into one commit. And then I can like show, I can either select a specific hunk, or I can also choose to move the whole thing. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and then I could say that, but looking at the package.json file, I really want to I really want to, for example, call this create utility. And what I want is to, I rather want another commit in front of here where I actually insert the library, the dependencies. I click there, I move down here, and I actually move. Yeah, I have to fix that hover. Okay, but that could be our implementation. Yeah, okay, we need that. That will make the thing better. But there's something we discovered that was really, really bad. And I think it was here. When we merged all these things together, so let's put it in there. Yeah, we had this thing. So now, for some reason, when as we talked about, it actually produces the correct contents. The problem is how it deals with the diff. So I want to, okay, let's spend 25 minutes trying to understand how we need to fix that. And then like adding the commit is such a simple implementation. I can do that safely before demo time on Friday, but this one is way more tricky. Yeah, I'll just write down add remove hover effect when selected, when commit tab selected, and then ability to add new commit. And then you can ask, like, should you be able to remove a commit as well? Well, I guess we can do that in terms of if there aren't any changes or hunks. Yeah, the bad thing about being able to add commits is that it changes the indexes of everything. So it has to go through all the changes and all the hunks in the whole PR and bump, like change their index. That's the bad thing. Not that it's like much work, but it's, yeah, maybe it's not really much work, but it has to do that. Anyways, let's try to reason about what the hell happened here. So first of all, the hunk is completely wrong. Like, the hunk should be much bigger. So I think that is because now we have, this is the way it renders the, so that's the first thing. It's the way we render the hunk. So we have current hunk, and then we check if the line number is at the end of that hunk. I really want to look at this files. Which file is this? Demo index. Because now we have everyone is on shy index. Oh, why aren't I seeing the latest one? Oh, is this the loaded one? Oh, I want to really look at the updated state so that we always get like the new data. And again, I have to install Prettier. Okay. So now we have the data there, and let's look at files, demo, hunks. Okay, so they're all on shy index 1, and we have one hunk. Yeah. End 5, end 21, right? It should stop all the way down here, but because it's the second hunk, I think this one starts and this one's, yeah, and this one ends on 11. So then it kind of, so that's the thing. In terms of rendering out here, we aren't really considering intersecting hunks. So maybe it's enough to just check that. So maybe we can next hunk. If current hunk, let's see, if current, and we actually have next hunk and next hunk. So the thing is that we don't want to, shit, this is difficult. Because we might be operating on, yeah, this one's tricky. Because we might be dealing with two hunks at the same time. which is why I've been thinking about this merging of hunks. So we could, for like display purposes, we could merge those hunks together. So during, yeah, maybe we should try that strategy, because PR, so when we do the get initial contents, get lines and diff by SHA index, we could actually merge the hunks here, because this is only used for display purposes. So we could say hunks on SHA index. So this is just applying the diff. Oh yeah, and this shouldn't be called get lines and diff anymore, because this is just applying, yeah. Get lines and actually transposed hunks. That's a long one, but it's true. That's the name of it. So what we could do here is actually merge the hunks. So let's merge hunks. Let's just try that and see what happens. So what we'll do is, we have an array here. It should still be, yeah, let's just try it. Prev and index, prev hunk. Do we need, yeah, I think it's prev hunk we actually want. This should be PR hunk. So what we'll do is I will look at the previous one. So if the hunk.start is less than prev hunk.end, so if this is intersecting, we have to figure out how much is intersecting. So what I think we need to do is basically just const, we have to figure out what lines are actually intersecting, because we don't actually want to merge the whole set of operations which we use to display the diff. It's actually only the ones produced on those. No, if they actually intersect, we move the whole thing in. If prev hunk and, yeah, and let's do the opposite here, is more than the start, it means that we just collapse them together. This will become one. And should we, yeah, we'll update the previous hunk. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to return, we're going to slice again from 0 to index, I guess. No, it's non-exclusive, right? The end index, this is exclusive of the element at the index end. So we're going to get to the index end, and that is the length minus 1. And then we're going to update. Oh my god, this is just, prev hunk. There has to be a better way to do this. I don't think there is. Okay, so prev hunk is now going to get a new end, and that end is going to be this hunk. Well, that's the thing. It's not necessarily because this hunk here might actually end also before this one ends. So the new end here will rather be if, so it's basically the max of prev hunk end and hunk end. Oh wait, we have another problem. We have another problem. Damn it. Because we can't just move the operations. We can't just move the operations into the other hunk because it has a different operation start. Fuck. So I actually have to transpose the operations by looking at the operation start as well. Okay, let's do it. Operation start offset would then be prev hunk dot operation start. Well, hunk operation start minus prev hunk operation start. So we do this, and then we say that the operations are, well, the existing operations of the prev hunk. But it should also be the operations of the hunk, but we have to change its line by this operation start offset. This offset is operation start offset. Okay, so what are we doing now? We're going through the hunks. If the previous hunk ends after this one starts, it means they are intersecting. And in that case, we're going to just merge the whole thing in. And what we have to make sure of is that the operations performed in this hunk, they have to be performed relative to the operation start of the previous hunk, which is why we create this adjustment of the offset, because it uses a single, like each operation doesn't have that operation offset, like the start offset. It's each hunk. Anyways, and then we go through, we keep all the hunks we have this far, excluding the last one, which is the previous hunk. And then we put a new end there, which might be this hunk, or it might still be the previous hunk. We don't know that, which is why we check it. And then we include the operations in there where we add this offset. I think this is going to work. And then we do this instead. And this should at least kind of get us further. Yeah, let's refresh and do that again. So which one did we fix? It's this one, right? Oh, goddamn, it's so annoying with the... No, of course, it's the index file. Sorry. So let's move that over here. Let's move this over here. That over there as well. Okay, so let's look at what actually came out of this. So we're in the demo index file, and it says we have Oh yeah, we can't look at the data. We have to look at, well, we can just look at the merge hunks here. Merged. Okay, so it's a single hunk, which I think I find a bit curious, because we did add that line, which is not indicated here for some reason. Let's hang sunshine index. Something wrong here. Merged. So the first one starts on line 1. Why doesn't this one start on line 1? Oh yes, sorry. So the start needs to be math min of prev hunk start and hunk start. So we actually no, that doesn't make any sense. How can it move to one hunk, and how can this become? Okay, let's just look at it. So we have start and 1 to 5. And then we have start 4, so it's intersecting. But why is the start now suddenly 4? Oh, no, sorry. It's not the end we're looking at. We're looking at if the hunk start is less. No, yeah, if the prev hunk end. What the fuck? Is the prev hunk end? It just feels like we're missing one here. Why start 1? Why isn't this one here? And this is the import. I am confused. So, but we still have only, well, is the operation there? No, the operation isn't even there. So we just, that's the thing, like we added this hunk, it feels like we removed it. Like what happens if, it's the fucking slicing, I know it. If I do slice 0, 0. It should do that. It's almost like it didn't bring in the first one. It started with this one. And why didn't it bring in the first one? Because the start was definitely less than the end. Basically, the end of the previous hunk was more than that one. And here I had one item, so this should be I don't understand this. Why didn't this work? Zero, 1. Now it's suddenly that one. How's that possible? I don't understand what's happening here. What the hell is happening here? Why doesn't it continue using the previous hunk? Oh. It's this one. Of course, prev hunk isn't hunks on SHA index. It's sorry. It's this one. There we go. Okay, so now at least we have the full hunk, but it's still producing the wrong diff, which is expected. Because what actually happens here in terms of a diff, well, what's good here is that it does show, what it doesn't display correctly is the addition. So this is the addition of the console log, I believe. Let's remove the so if we look at the full set of operations that are now merged, we have, you see this, line 6, well, which is basically, it's basically 8. It's the addition of the console log, but that console log was actually removed later. So what we basically want to do is we want to, since this line was removed, like we basically want to cancel out these operations in terms of the diff. They didn't really happen. So we have to think about how we do that. So we have get removed lines. How do we think about that? What's good now is that I think we can evaluate this for each hunk. We don't have to think cross hunks. No, we don't have to do that. We don't have to think cross hunks if like one line removes the other. So it's basically, here we have the operations. So what I think we want to happen here. Okay, so this is interesting because now we have removals. So how would we look at this? So we would go through, it would find we don't actually want to show these two, and we don't want to show them because they actually canceled out. What did they actually do? Did we have? Oh my god, this is tricky. Is it as easy as like, okay, I have something already exists on. So what happens in this case is that we see that we have an operation offset, remove offset. So what I think happens here is that we actually it states 4 and 5. We removed 4 and 5. I wonder how this looks like. Get removed lines. Oh, operations. Yeah, so it states, yeah, of course it states 4 and 5. But I think there were already operations there, right? Oh, it's 12 already. God damn it. Oh. What does this actually mean? We did remove 2 lines, but in terms of the diff, they don't make any sense. Does it mean that we should just filter? Maybe that should be part of the merging. Yeah, that's interesting. So through the merge, we look like we can only have 1 operation per line. Well, can we? No, that's not true. Damn it. This is complicated. This is so complicated. I'm not sure what to do about this. Maybe there's a different way to think about this. Is there a way to think about this as just looking at the hunks? So basically, no, we can't just look at the hunks. We have to look at the lines. Wow, this one is incredibly tricky. This is breaking my brain. This is definitely breaking my brain. Can we? Well, I think it should actually happen. I think it should happen where we merge. So what we do is that after their merge, we go through the hunks and we evaluate removed plus add-in. Yeah, if it's like when looking at the original diff, when we're producing the original diff, we actually indicate a change operation, like a line is replaced. I'm calling it replaced. So we actually do that now, but this is more like it's not really. I think that the diff is working correctly. It's more that we are basing that diff on. It's kind of interesting because this has been a tricky thing all the time. It's like we have these operations, and all these operations needs to run to produce the correct version of the document. But when we start moving stuff around, even though these operations always run in the correct order and produces the correct document, it messes up the diff. We have to like separate operations from the diff, which is what we're basically doing here. We're applying all the operations first, and then we start like merging the hunks, because these hunks here is for display purposes. It's for diffing basically. Maybe we should not even expose hunks here. We should actually expose removed lines and the diff. Maybe that would actually be better. But what we are free to do at this point is that we can actually start manipulate operations. We don't have to worry about these operations, like removing some of them and so on and so on. It doesn't actually affect the production of the document. Or should this actually happen here in these functions? Is this where we want to figure out if did this removal actually occur? And the way to figure out if that removal actually occurred. Okay, so let's ask that question. Did this removal on line 4, as it indicates here, did that actually occur? So in terms of running the operations, yes, it did occur, but it didn't occur. It wasn't needed. Maybe even that. Should we even do that? Should we like filter out unnecessary operations? Should we merge? No, we can't merge hunks, because you have to be able to split it up again. If you like move stuff around, we should just merge them for display purposes. And even that is questionable. Should we even do that? Because if we merge them for display purposes, you can't split them up again. So maybe I'm actually No, I can't figure this out now. I have to think about this a lot more. Because we have to keep the data as is so that we can like revert the stuff we did. So this is really about just drawing the lines here, which is a UI problem. It's not a state problem or like data problem. Yeah, so we need a different way to, like now we're just using this current hunk to render out this thing, and we can't use just current hunk. It has to be something else. Yeah, I am rerunning the display filtering. So it's just that now the diff is based on operations. It's not based on the actual diff. Because we're converting the git diff into a set of operations. Because those operations can be moved around. And then we're extracting the diff from those operations. And so whenever you move something around, it does re-render the UI, and it works in all cases. It's just, so you see here, it works just fine. It's just when you have merged, you have changed the history in such a way that certain lines hasn't really changed. Like it adds something to a line, but then you put another hunk in there that removed that same line, but we're still trying to display that we removed the line and added the line, but now there's nothing on that line anymore. There's something else on that line. So it's just when we have these, like when we merge a lot of stuff together, maybe the diffs, maybe we shouldn't really build up the diffs this way at all. Maybe we should just, maybe we should just go through one operation at a time and produce like a diff on that line. And then when we get to the next operation, we add that to the diff. And then as we kind of see operations that later will eliminate the previous diff, then we just remove it from the diff. So the point is really to just, you shove the hunks in, the hunks has operations, and you get this diff object back. But the bigger problem is that to indicate removed lines, that diff is based on the old document, the lines on the old document, while the additions are based on the new document. So if you want to have like a single diff, it has to be a diff, like what changed in the old document and what changed in the new document. Yeah. So what if we had like get diff and it returned like new and old, and then we just iterate through every single operation in that hunk, and we evaluate. This is the diff this operation should produce, and then we should. So let's try to reason about that. So if I meet that operation producing the operation that produces the console log, that will be on line, I can't remember, some line. And then we suddenly go to the operation that deletes that same line. We basically just, so we have this is the thing. So like we get to the console log and that's added to the new diff. Let's call it new diff. And then you have the removal, which is typically added to the old diff, which is added to the old diff because it represents a change on the old version of the document, while the adding of the console log represents a change on the new version of the document. But when we do this together in the same logic, we can actually go through and we'll find that console log first, and we add that as a line change on the new document. But then we meet that removal of the same line, which we're supposed to add to the old diff as a removal. But now we're able to check, by the way, did we add something on this line? And if we did, it means that, it just removed something we already added. Let's remove the added thing and let's not add the removed thing. Anyway, this might sound weird, but I think that's kind of the strategy. It's like there's a single function for getDiff because we have to evaluate like removals and additions at the same time to figure out which removals and additions should not even be there. Should handle both old and new document. The thing that makes it a little bit tricky is maybe not. Maybe it's actually simpler now. Anyways, something to figure out, but should handle both old and new document. So old removals and new additions. But it's interesting, like what's the difference between so what's the difference between an actual replacement and something erasing itself? Well, yeah, I actually, this is a good thing, because I'm already separating that, because I'm representing replacements as an array of like -1, like a tuple of -1 and the addition. So I know what's a replacement and what happens due to putting hunks together, causing changes to not be, like, shouldn't be highlighted as a diff anymore. By evaluating removals, additions in the same function, we can check if a removal addition is canceling each other out, which allows us to remove it both from the old diff and the new diff. That's what we need to do, I think. I'll just make a note. We know what are replacements due to the so those should not cause like canceling in the same way. That's a good thing. We're not actually treating replacements as separate removals and additions. They're actually together, so that's good. Should handle both old removals and new additions. By evaluating removals in the same function, we can check if I remove. What's the time? Okay, like I have to get this done by Friday anyway. So if we spend the time now, when we're kind of in it, yeah, let's leave that. Okay, let's try to see how this works. So we actually still need, so what we're going to return is, oh, what happened? Old diff, new diff. And it's kind of weird, like the old diff will always have removals and the new diff will always have additions, which is a little bit weird, because every PR operation in the old diff will be -1, but it's just, like, it's conceptually it's easier to think about it this way, at least for me it is. So, and we still need this remove offset for the removals. That's also something to yeah, good question. So the only thing you can have now as operations is -1 just text, or you have -1 and just text. There is no type called there is no type of text and then -1. So these are the only types of a PR operation: just removal, just addition, or a replacement. I haven't met a situation where a replacement is expressed as but yeah, so if I can't remember the logic exactly, But if an addition is, like if a replacement is expressed by first a removal and then an addition, sorry, first an addition and then a removal, then it's still represented as the same tuple, like with -1 first. So it's basically just to have something indicating a replacement. The order of these two doesn't really matter. They represent the same thing. I could even just do this. Like I could just have an array with some text in it. That would also be enough to kind of indicate replacement. So it's maybe a bit overkill with this -1. But it reads more as a replacement than just an array implicitly meaning replacement. Yeah, it's interesting. I haven't really reflected much over that one. Yeah. Okay, so let's just shove this in here. Yeah, so this is actually, yeah, okay. So let's, if operation, type of operation equals string, it means it's an addition. So let's just write out that first. That means it's a new diff. Operation start plus its offset is an operation. And then if it's an operation equals -1, yeah, let's remove, let's copy this one, else we're going to split this into 3 separate ones. I'm just going to copy that. Oh yeah, so, this is going to be interesting. Remove offset. This was in the case where it was a string. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, so if operation is -1, it should do this, but it should not. Sorry, this looks a bit confusing now. Let's copy this one. Old diff. Let's just do this for now. And then this is not an array. So the last one is an array. TypeScript should even be able to infer that. Yeah, you see that? -1 string. Boop, 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 boop. So now we have additions in the new diff. But the thing is, we want replacements in both the old diff and the new diff. Where we do not use the remove offset. And of course we're doing this opposite. Let's see, let's make this consistent to make it a bit more readable. So there's probably bugs here already, but at least we have something to start with. So in terms of a replacement, we actually added to the old diff and the new diff. Okay, so now the point now is that we're actually getting the same thing. And then we can start evaluating from there. One thing we have to be really careful about now is that we're actually operating in a fake history because we've been running the demo. So that's not really good. So let's call this new diff and old diff. And this should be new diff. And then we have old diff. Yeah, I should probably change the name of those. Okay, so let's look at something very simple. Yeah, so it's actually indicating the correct stuff. I wonder about this, why it's indicating replacement only here and not. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Oh, I don't want to get stuck in that, do I? Yeah, this is interesting. Anyways, let's try moving them together. Oops. I have to get used to. Okay, so what happened now is that, yeah, now I suddenly had 2 additions here. Anyways, what we want to happen here is, yeah, let's look at the actual diff. PR client, old diff, new diff. Let's just look at what it actually produced. So it says that it removed line 4 and 5. That's the thing we say it actually didn't happen. But what's tricky about this is that you see that it says that it removed 4 and 5, but the addition was on, the actual addition was on line 7 and 8. And the reason it states that is because, yeah, why does it state that? Oh my god, this is so mind-bending. I think yeah, maybe. Yeah, but it actually, the previous logic checked if it was operation of -1, and it only added the offset if it was a -1. And you see the replacements, they are like, they are correct, referencing the correct lines. So I just think that the 4 and 5 here is basically, one thing is like looking at the result of this. Yeah, so one thing is like looking at the result of this, but they shouldn't even be there. So in some, yeah, I guess I kind of got stuck in why does it say like 4 and 5? Why does it say 4 and 5? Because what was the original hunks there? Or the original. So first it added that one, then we added console log and that one, which is like 4 and 5, actual 4 and 5 lines, and then it removed those 2. And since it's operations, it's on the same offset because you remove one line and then you actually remove the same line because it's, yeah. So that's where 4 and 5 is coming from. So what should really happen here is that, yeah, so what I'm curious about, why is suddenly, oh yeah, so the remove offset, yeah. Yeah, so we are, fuck. No, that's what I wonder. Like, why is the diff of addition suddenly 7 and 8 for these two? Because we're not adding the remove offset on additions. Oh, fuck. We're not. So why was those 7 and, oh, wait a minute. Is it, it might be the other one. Sorry. It might be, I didn't actually test that, where we did the merging. Maybe this shouldn't be plus. Maybe it should be minus. Let's try minus, see what happens. Or maybe that will just completely break it. Well, it kind of completely broke it. Yeah, it completely broke it. I think, yeah, that's probably correct. But yeah, but here you see again, like you see it actually, yeah, but still, god damn it. Just 2 seconds. Hallo? Hei. Jeg holder på, jeg er midt i stor tenkeprosess. Ja. Ja, for da hører jeg bedre også. Supert. Ja, ha det. Okay, so the thing to, this is what I'm thinking. To be able to cancel these two out, I have to understand why was the additions here added on 7 and 8. Like, and it seems to be after the merging that those suddenly became later. So let's look at those two additions. No, they're still 3 and 4. So how did they become 7 and 8? That's interesting. Okay, but then we know that they suddenly became 7 and 8. But they are additions, so it's only this piece of logic. So it's only taking the operation start plus the offset. So that's super curious to me. What? Operation hunk, operation start, offset. Oh, wait, is it the operation start that changed? Oh, yeah, you see that? Start is 4. That should be 1. That's the problem. That's the problem. Why is that? Prev hunk. What? Oh no, sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. Where is it? No, sorry, start is 1. Oh, I know. When we are grabbing the, I think I know. When we are, no, wait, what's happening here? Why was, I'm confused. Why the hell was, oh my god, where are we? Get diff, where are you? Why? Yeah, let's take a look again. So console log operation. So this has changed to 6. How did that happen? The offset is 6. But when I look at operations, which is this demo index, when I look at operations, oh, this was a button thing. Wait, increment, decrement. Where the hell are the console logs? There they are. Oh, wait, operation start 4. Yes, I'm looking at something else here, I think. Oh no, that's what's happening, because I'm comparing. Yeah, so operation. Yeah, okay, so I did actually add them to line 7 and 8. That is correct. But I wonder why the removal was set to 4 and 5, because didn't that happen? Okay, let's see. So this was the wow, this is tricky. So this was the addition of that one. Where the hell is the removal? Oh yeah, so it's actually the removals that are wrong. Oh, no. So I have this remove offset. Why do I have this remove offset? Should I have that? What if I don't have that remove offset? I do have to have a remove offset because it's I have to have that remove offset, but for some reason it but I wonder why it's so high. Why is the remove offset so high? Because this also... Is it because I have other removals here? But I don't have any other removals. Like, okay, let's look at the removal offset. Because that shouldn't be this high. Why do I make it less here? Because we're not adding anything. Wait a minute, there's something fishy going on there. There we go. Yeah, sorry, that's the thing. I'm not sure why I had that remove offset on additions. Maybe there's some situation where, yeah, this, no, yeah, you see that? It's the replacement. Oh, so maybe they should only be on replacement? Wait a minute. What's happening here? So now the removal is correct, but now the offset is wrong. Should those also have? Why don't they have? Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, shit. Oh fuck, how does this work? So there's a remove offset. How do I know? How do I know? Oh my god. So this is off by like too much. 5. But this didn't do anything. That's also curious. Like, I just have to double check so it's not so now we should be able to cancel these two out at least. But why was suddenly this offset wrong? It's because I'm adding, so it's looking at the old diff. It's looking at the old diff. But it's like, it's just completely off. Oh, I think I know why. Maybe I know why. Do I know why? I think it's more... Why is it so off? Why is it off? Because these ones, it's almost like, what does it mean to make a replacement? It does mean I remove a line. So in that case, it should really have a remove offset because I was actually removing that line from the old document. So, but it's still off. All diff. Fetch. Thinking. I don't understand it. Like, it's so difficult to put this into your brain. So if it's a string, we just show it. If it's a deletion, it affects the why is replacement wrong? Did I actually handle them in the... Yeah, of course I did. Yeah, offset is on everything. So I think it really is here, and it's off by 4 or something. So it states that the replacement happened on line 15? No, 14, sorry. Which is also weird. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, sorry, this is the old... Yeah, sorry, this is the old diff. So it states that it happened on line 14. But it actually happened on line 11 in this case. And I thought it would be enough with the remove offset. But I don't understand all diff plus remove offset. Yeah, because we're showing what we actually... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I think I know what's wrong, maybe. It's wrong because the contents here doesn't exist anymore. Like, I think this is wrong because this replacement expected there to actually be console here. Maybe. Damn it. We don't have much more time. Fuck, this is like, this should be the last thing. We can get this working. Then we have like a first version. Because I wonder what would happen here. Like if I actually started implementing this cancel thing. Yeah, exactly. So maybe this happens because we're not canceling yet. So maybe we should just try to implement the canceling. Well, it would still state that it happens on this line. Like the canceling would just kind of not display this addition line and these two removal lines. But these ones are unrelated to that. The way it works now, the question is, should there be like a cancellation offset kind of thing? So if I cancel something out, does that mean, that's the question, like does these two operations, do they actually affect where this happens? Like I don't think so, because this is correct. So that's what's curious to me. Why is this one correct and not this one? But it might be because these ones actually were changed when we had the console log there. But still, it's like 2 lines, and this isn't 2. Like the offset isn't 2 lines, it's actually 3 lines. Which is also weird to me. Why is it 3 lines? Yeah, and you see here, it's like there are 3 lines between these two, but there's 2 lines between these two. It's almost like, is it missing? Like we have to look at the... Okay, let's remove this one. New diff, all diff. Yeah, this was the one we didn't want to do, at least for now, to understand better what's happening. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's definitely not right. Yeah, to do. Okay, cool. So it's just that we have this offset here happening, because the original array states that this replacement should happen on line 11 and 14. 11 and 14. And now we're adding, that's curious. What if I do this? Oh yeah, sorry. Oh wait, yeah, wait a minute. Oh, I think I know what it is. So we have addition offset. So the point is, I think we have to take into account that we added, like here we actually added this line. So these are aligned correctly, but in this case, that line wasn't added anymore. So that's why it's offset by 1. But this might be very specific to this case. I have this feeling that you can get all kinds of variants of like removing and adding, and I don't know. Let's try it. Addition offset, and then anything that we still keep in the old if, we have to probably minus, not plus, but minus. Yeah, and then, oh yeah. And then addition, oh. Oh, this is also, I can't call it addition offset. That doesn't make any sense. Because it's only that one line. God damn it. Yeah, I removed the remove offset minus minus. Yeah, I did do that. That's true. Maybe we should try to bring that back. Was that, where did we do that? Was that on replacement? No, that was on additions, wasn't it? Yeah, but that's what's caused this one to be wrong. It's actually correct for this one. That's interesting. Yeah, so that's what I meant. Like, that's what I meant about the addition thing. So let's just call it addition offset for now. And that's the thing we're going to do there. And then this, this, and then we do this. Yeah, you see that? Like again, so this worked. I'm very curious about this one though. I'll have to check that. It might just be because we have, no, it's weird. I'm not sure what that is. So this, like this works now, and we can now cancel 7 and 8 because they have additions and removals. But I do wonder if this is very specific to this case. But that's something to discover. And like, how the hell do you explain this? Like, nobody understands this. Why are we doing these offsets? I would like to write that code in a way that makes it obvious why we need to do it. But it's, but you can also argue that it's, even if the code reflected why it needed to do it, it still might not make sense. Because even in my brain, I can't understand why we have to do this. Just reasoning about it, I don't understand why we need these offsets. Well, I understand we need offsets, but I can't like do the operations in my head like step by step. And then, oh yeah, of course, we have to add that offset because of this and that offset because of this kind of thing. But let's just do the cancellation and see. So we basically, do we want to I guess we want to look at either one. So if we have an addition, but we already have a removal on the same line in the old if, does that mean we cancel them and vice versa? Or is it very explicit that you have to have an addition first and then a removal? I think that's how it needs to be. Like, you can have a removal and then an addition and then call that a cancellation. Right? Yeah. So if we have an addition and then we happen to remove and then the question is, do we actually do the remove offset and addition offset? I guess we do. If new div line, like, I don't think this will actually work. Well, I guess we can just delete. We could like check, is it an actual string? But I don't think it matters. Cancel. Oh, that's this cost non-operation. God damn it. This is breaking my brain. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is bad. Oh, no, 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 no. This is really bad. This is so bad. Damn it, it's actually producing the wrong operations. Fuck. I thought I had this nailed down. God damn it. How did this happen? And this is not, it's actually producing the wrong contents. No, that's so bad. I thought it was working. I find that very weird. Because we are actually applying. Let me move those two over. Everything's fine. That's very interesting. How can that cause producing the wrong document? Because it is actually just applying. Did I change something? Yeah, as a stack. Yeah, that's the correct technical term. It's a stack, so you need to do the offset. And it makes a lot of sense for removals. That's where my brain is capable of thinking about it as a stack. So if you want to remove line 4 and 5, you actually want to remove line 4, and then you want to remove line 4 again, because removing line 4 in the first place moved the removal of line 5, moved line 5 to become 4. So yeah, it's... But I do wonder what happened here. We have to fix this as well. But I'm going into... I have a meeting, so I have to do that. But this was... disheartening, but it's very, very curious, because this is super, like, I think this is a very simple bug, because the only thing we did was to actually move the two additions. So I find it very curious. Maybe the order was messed up. Yeah, the order is wrong. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah, the order. the console, these two. No, sorry, here it's correct, but the order of applying the operations is wrong. But I'm not actually applying, yeah. Okay, we need to fix that bug, but I have to go now, so I think we're getting closer. Let's just look at the whole thing when I... Oh, and then what I'm afraid will happen is... Oh yeah, of course. If... Yeah, good point. I'll comment out the... But at least we see it actually working. We cancel out those two things and it worked at least in this scenario. So, but then you can argue, does it work in any scenario? We don't know that yet. But yeah, that was nice. So we actually got somewhere. So I'm going to keep this exactly as is. And yeah, let's comment out the merge. The funny thing about the merging though is that the merging happens after we apply the operations to the lines. So you see here, this is where we actually apply to the lines, and then we go in and we create the merge chunks. So there's something fishy going on with the order of the operations, it seems. But yeah, I'll jump into that meeting and then we'll talk later. Maybe I'm able to... Do I have some time? Yeah, I have some more time today, so I think I just need to get this freaking thing good enough for a demo. So yeah, okay, bye for now. Oh, where did it go? There we are. Thanks for the assistance, by the way, the rubber ducking. That's awesome. And sorry if I'm bypassing or not understanding exactly what you mean. I know a colleague of mine told looking at me streaming is like looking at a football match. It's like, oh, why didn't you do that? And why didn't you do that? And that's the deal. The display of the diff is based on the merge chunk, but only the indications, not the actual production of the file contents. And that is what was wrong here. It was the actual contents of the file that was wrong. I didn't really point it out very well. But if you see, like you see now, you see like we have a button click here and here and here and here, so that the contents are completely wrong, which is not based on the diff, only the indications here as a lookup. So the diff is really just a lookup thing. Yeah. No, you didn't derail my thinking. It's always fun to have input, and it makes me like go back and rethink stuff, because I often like dive deep into one path, and then it's really nice. So yeah, please continue. Anyways, bye for now. Hopefully we'll talk more later.